Picture this, a tough kid from Queens, New York, with a philosophy degree from Princeton and a dream bigger than his tiny apartment. This isn't the start of a movie. It's the real-life story of Carl Icahn, one of Wall Street's most feared and respected figures. How did this young man who started with nothing become a billionaire feared by CEOs across America? His journey is a masterclass in ambition, strategy, and sheer nerve. Born in 1936 to a teacher and a cantor, young Carl grew up in a world far from the glitz of Wall Street. He was smart and driven, getting into Princeton, but he didn't quite fit in with the old money crowd. After a brief and unsuccessful stint in medical school, he found his true calling. He joined the army, and then in 1961, with a little help from his uncle, he bought a seat on the New York Stock Exchange. He was a stockbroker, learning the rules of a game he would one day completely rewrite. For the first few years, he was just another face in the crowd, learning the ropes of risk arbitrage and options trading. He was good at it, very good. By 1968, he'd saved up enough to form his own firm, Icahn Co. This wasn't just about trading stocks anymore. Carl had spotted a flaw in the system. He saw big bloated companies with lazy management and undervalued stock prices. He realized their hidden potential was a goldmine waiting to be unlocked. This is where the legend of the corporate raider begins. In the late 1970s and 80s, Icahn honed his strategy. He would buy a large chunk of a company's stock, enough to get a seat at the table. Then he'd start making demands. He wasn't just a passive investor, he was an activist. He'd loudly and publicly call for changes to unlock shareholder value, things like selling off divisions, changing management, or buying back stock. He saw himself as a crusader for the average shareholder, a wake-up call for complacent executives. His first major battle was with a company called Tappan. He saw it was undervalued, bought a controlling stake, and forced a sale to another company, doubling his investment. This was the blueprint. He went after bigger and bigger targets. Companies like Marshall Field, Phillips Petroleum, and the textile giant Dan River. He became a household name, the boogeyman in corporate boardrooms. Executives would tremble when they heard Carl Icahn was buying their stock. Then came the deal that made him a legend, Trans World Airlines, or TWA. In 1985, Icahn launched a hostile takeover of the struggling airline. It was a brutal, public fight. He saw an airline weighed down by bad management and bloated costs. After a long battle, he won control. His plan was to slash costs and make it profitable. He famously took the company private in a deal that netted him a personal profit of nearly $500 million. But the airline's story ended in bankruptcy years later. This move cemented his reputation, brilliant and ruthless. To his supporters, he was a genius who unlocked value. To his critics, he was a predator who dismantled companies for a quick buck, with little regard for the employees left behind. But Icahn wasn't just about takeovers. As he got older, his strategy evolved. He was no longer just the young, aggressive raider. He became a more established, powerful figure, a sort of elder statesman of activist investing. He moved from hostile takeovers to what he called shareholder activism. He'd still buy big stakes in companies like Motorola, Time Warner, and later Apple and Netflix, but his approach was more about influencing strategy from the inside. Think about his famous push with Apple in 2013. He bought billions of dollars worth of Apple stock and then took to Twitter, publicly demanding that the company use its massive cash pile to buy back more shares. The stock surged. He made his point and he made a fortune, eventually selling his stake for a $2 billion profit. He proved that even as a seasoned veteran, he could still move markets with a single tweet. He was a master of using the media to his advantage, turning public opinion into a powerful weapon. What's the secret to his success? First, it's his incredible ability to spot undervalued assets. He has a sixth sense for finding companies that are worth more than their stock price suggests. Second, it's his relentless persistence. Once Icahn sets his sights on a company, he does not let go. He'll fight for months, even years, to get what he wants. He's a chess master in a world of checkers, always thinking several moves ahead. And third, it's his absolute, unshakable self-confidence. He trusts his own judgment above all else and isn't afraid to go against the entire market. From a kid in Queens playing poker to a billionaire moving global markets, Carl Icahn's life is a testament to the power of a singular vision and an iron will. He didn't just play the game of Wall Street. He changed the rules for everyone. He forced corporations to be more accountable to their shareholders and in the process, built an empire from scratch. Whether you see him as a corporate Robin Hood or a ruthless pirate, one thing is undeniable. Carl Icahn is a true original. A self-made titan who carved his own path to the very top.